Hello, everyone.
Yes, hello. Okay, I'm gonna start dropping the links. If everybody else wants to introduce themselves.
I am Andy. I am Keta also.
I am tired.
Rapport tired being. Hello. I am Unread Hunter. And I do things.
Hello, you know who I am. I am streamer. I am many worry at times.
I am Velcros. I play Felzy. I am probably the most worrying character in this group.
Yeah.
And Mythosia has disappeared into the ether.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I'm looking at the chat and yeah, he's died. He died again.
This seems like it's going to be a stream of technical difficulties. Wonderful. We got to get our gun back.
If you're curious, he plays Gun. He is Gun.
Lord of Gun. For he is of Gun and Gun is of him.
Oh, goody.
Well, oh, I think I might hear something.
Meet? Hello?
Are you alive over there?
His little symbol hasn't been lighting up at all.
Mm.
Yeah, nothing.
I'm here for now. Just give it 2 fucking minutes.
Should we? So we switch over to a different server. Might be our best option at this point.
Maybe.
I mean, if that's what we gotta do in order to make things work for tonight, then I guess we'll just do that.
Is that cool with you, Ash?
Okay.
We're going, but sure.
T-Crew on Mythosia's Nexus. Looks like
Alright, gotta happen.
Okay. Alrighty.
Well, back.
You know, one of these days should figure out a better name than just Thursday Crew.
It's fixed. We are the Thursday crew.
But what if we were Wednesdays?
No. Anyway,
I'm waiting to hear him to see if this is actually aided the situation at all.
I mean, yeah. As far as I can tell, at least.
Alright, so does everyone introduce themselves?
Yeah, except me.
we introduced Myth for him.
I'm mess. I'm about to strangle this fucking computer. There you go.
He's a sentient mass with tentacles that have tried to assume a human shape. There we go.
Close enough.
And is obsessed with gun.
No, that's Brimstone.
No, that's also pretty accurate.
Alright.
Okay, so then I guess we're just ready to start then.
Yep. Also feels that you should have a character sheet for 4 female dogs now. I've given it its appropriate stats at 8 people.
I don't see it unless I need to reset. How did I do that? Look up.
Alright then.
Yeah, I don't
No,
have it.
no session recap today because I'm incredibly exhausted and going from 3 weeks of working overnight to suddenly working 6 a.m. shifts is not good for a man's brain.
Generally not, though.
Are you sure you don't want to take tonight off to
You're
rest?
already here, Armored.
Yeah, probably.
Alright, y'all, we got our shit together.
I'm at least getting us started, but we are stopping at 10 o'clock. So
Alright.
I'm going to bed at that point. This is a very lightly scheduled stream, so it's mostly honestly just to take care of some meta stuff that needs to be taken care of, like making sure you guys understand how the calendar system of this world works. Because I had to go through and figure out what fucking date it was.
Oh no.
And also correct an error from my previous telling you how much time you had, where I referred to a season as a month. Because technically it's the same thing in this world, but it sounds very confusing. So yeah, you have technically one season before the issue that Monogon was presented with. Because it becomes a prescient issue, which is effectively 90-ish days. I'm not entirely sure if you have the full season before it is an issue, before it becomes an issue, or if you have more or less. So that you have around that amount of time.
Mhm.
Let me get the calendar pulled up that I've been working on.
Night's just a lot of finishing stuff in one city and then just moving.
Yep.
Everything is awesome, and I'm totally awake right now. Sorry everyone, it's been a rough week.
Okay, man.
It's okay.
days. Another thing to keep in mind is that days and weeks in this world only have 6 days because every single season is divided into 90 days. So it makes it very easy to track how many days you have in this.
Alrighty.
60-week year then?
Second,
60-week year.
more or less.
Yeah, because it would be 15 weeks in one season.
Yeah, it's 15 weeks a season, there are 4 seasons.
Yeah.
The actual, if I did this correctly, the actual time of the start of the campaign was in early summer. You guys are more or less in the 3rd week of summer now. I've kind of rounded off the days to make it easier to track. So you are actually on the 1st day of the 3rd week of summer. For anyone who might want to write this down, the date is called Alphen.
How's it spelled?
It's spelled as Aelton. The days in order are Aelton, Alphen, Astidion, there's Cassilla, Drake, Eterna, and Fratern. Not that this would come as any news to any of your characters, there's a standard array of dates in this world, so you'd all know this, but I figured it would be nice to let you all know what the days are called.
Denny accidentally hopped into another channel. Oops.
But yes.
1, 2,
The Days of the Week song must have been
That's
really complicated to learn.
There is no days of the week song. Also, the days of the week are literally A, B, C, D, E, F.
so there's 7 days a week?
There's 6.
No, 6.
6.
There
6
ain't
days
no,
a week.
there ain't no G.
I made it 6-day weeks because that made it really easy to track how the year progressed.
Yeah.
Okay then. So not Earth and not Faerun.
No, this is
I mean, we've already
if we were to
established that.
actually view this from an outside perspective, this is a considerably smaller planetoid.
This
It
is
is
bastard,
missing a
bro.
bay.
Turns out the world's flat.
I mean, they call it a plane, but no. The world is round, it revolves.
I just realized we have to find out how. I just remembered really the fact we have to find out how much the card is going to cost us.
Yes, there's a lot of things you guys have to realize in the meta.
Yeah.
I got most
So-
of mine taken care of.
Yes, we actually got a chance to work on some of yours.
A lot of mine is just small stuff.
So before we resolve a couple of the interesting issues from last game, looking at you, Andy.
Ah!
So
That is entirely your own fault.
it's entirely your fault.
No one explained it to her. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
No one explained it, but there was a lot of implication. Still, though, is there any questions for anyone who wants to get anything solved before we actually move on to the RP of this day? Basically, they other things you would have been shopping for the day before leaving.
I do.
Oh, I forgot to
Just
give you
general,
actual access to the sheet, but I did put it in your folder.
just general shopping things for me.
All right, so
Trying to remember what
just
the hell I
going
was
down
after.
the. Give me a second.
What was I after?
Yeah, just going down the call list. Tell me what you guys were trying to find.
Am I at the top for
You are.
most
yes,
of you?
you are.
Alright. So, I was looking for like watercolor paints. Paints, and embroidery thread, and to get a new outfit, and to get a large-sized men's style shirt.
Yes, you're trying to find a shirt for Lee.
Yes, because he seemed very upset he could not get a shirt that he wanted.
No. They put him in a fitting shirt, and he's very upset about this fact.
I can't feel it on me muscles.
He's insistent that it is in fact the wrong size.
Can't feel it on me muscles.
It's not too hard to find that, to be honest. This is another one of the trading ports, so finding thread and paints is not that difficult. They're a little bit more expensive than they might be at their source because distribution costs and all that such.
Yeah.
But give me one moment to refer to the Painter Supplies DMG item to actually look at how much that item cost.
Alright, that was the last thing I needed to remember.
You gotta love when nothing is loaded. It just makes my job so much easier.
Painter supplies are 10 gold.
Thank you, Mythosia. I still have to get this loaded because there's gonna be other people wanting to buy other shit.
You can tell he's tired because he didn't censor himself.
Chat! Be quiet, Sakuga. Yeah. You'll probably be able to get the embroidery thread, the extra shirt for Lee, and those painter supplies. Honestly, probably all from the same merchant for about 15 gold.
What about a new outfit for me? Because I'm kind of ripped up a bit.
You probably. It wouldn't be anything fancy, but you'd be able to get it for the same merchant for the standard cost of traveler's clothing.
Alright.
I think it's like a few. It's like a silver.
Oh yeah, Felsey's not naked, almost naked anymore.
Nope. Trisha has proper clothing now.
I also assume just grabbing an extra notebook isn't that much from what we've talked about.
Paper is expensive. It's not that expensive, but
Yeah.
getting a notebook is probably going to cost you like 2 silver pieces.
Alright.
Wood's a common resource in this world, but it's still hard to process with these fairly primitive methods.
But other than that,
This is definitely a world that focused more on its military development than it focused on its like
Social.
social development.
Culture.
Yeah.
but other than that, I am good.
That's what happens when you have a whole society based off of constantly being in war times.
That's definitely good for the cultural well-being of the people. Definitely.
All things considered, they're kept in relatively good condition. It's just there's a lot of stress. But alrighty then.
Yeah, I'm just marking the embroidery stuff under just kind of general sewing supplies. So
Yeah.
it's all together. But yeah, I am good.
6-day week.
Alrighty then. The next would be armored. What sort of general shopping purposes would you have been looking into on the days you had in town?
For the days had in town, one would be to check up with Flair about those tools.
Alrighty then. If I remember rightly, those tools were the ones you're having him make out of the Primus alloy,
Yes,
or Premium alloy.
yes, the premium.
Getting my realms and my alloy confused, because it sounds like a very similar word.
Yeah,
Yes.
just some jeweler's tools made out of premium. Then because carrying this hunk of crab shell with sticky substance on it
Which,
to
by the way,
go and
has become less sticky the longer it's existed. It's just been drying out.
to try to get that kind of sticky substance to an alchemist to see if there's a possibility that that could be made of use.
Go ahead and make for me a general investigation check to see if you can actually find an alchemist in this port.
18.
Alright. Alright. You are actually able to find one. It does not seem to be. It alchemy does not seem to be this person's main profession. They just seem to practice it. But you are able to find a practicing alchemist to show the material to and try to get an idea of what can be made from it. Let me see what they could potentially make from it. They tell you that they'd probably need some time to get it done, but they could use the sticky substance to try to make some kind of wand.
A wand, you say?
Let me get a drink of water before I try to do an RP voice. My throat is killing me.
Now I'm just picturing like put the crab shell on the ground, do a ritual, and then just some guy comes out of it. Yes, I am Juan.
It's actually no, it's actually the person you're talking to right now is actually a gnome, by the way. So you set this crab shell in front of them, and they're like eclipsed by it. It's still a pretty big shell, even for you to be carrying around. Even if I remember rightly, it was only like a third of the shell.
Yeah.
Is the background music not playing for you guys?
No?
Double check, but I think I have this site muted.
Nothing's playing on the jukebox.
Nah, it's nothing's on.
That doesn't seem right.
Time
That's
to
not like-
party!
That's not like the start of a Sonic game.
How's that sound, everyone?
Sounds good to me.
Fair warning. I think this has a beat drop at some point in it, just based on the audio wave file that I can see.
And the name Furious Freak.
Let's just see what happens. Oh yeah, it's gonna have beat drop. All right. So, looking at this, there it is. I knew it was gonna have a beat drop, but it turned down a little bit.
Don't worry, I'm dancing to it.
All right, then as long as you dance to it, it makes sense. There are gnomes in here. It's. I need to get different music for city ambience. All right.
No,
You can tell that I'm not super prepared for this. And yes,
Coiler,
gnomes.
this is the sound of audio beat.
Yes, gnomes definitely invented EDM.
This is Patton. This is Patton's brother.
Patton begrudgingly had to assist with this.
Damn.
So, just looking at this, definitely could use this substance as some form of reagent, maybe to form. You ever heard of an item known as a wand of web?
No. Care to elaborate?
Well, it's a wand that has a few charges in it every day. You swash it about and fling it forward, and it shoots a ball of goo to make a ball of web form. This sort of substance could be used as a reagent to facilitate that process.
Okay. How long do you think it would take to make something like that?
I can't guarantee results. This is not exactly my field of expertise, but it would at least be a week before I can get that done.
Now, the unfortunate thing is, I don't really know if we can afford. I can afford to stay here for a week. Things got to move.
Well, you don't necessarily have to be in the city at the end of said week. I can always have a messenger fowl carry it to you.
Oh,
Might
if
be a
you could,
particularly
that'd
heavy
be
item.
lovely.
Of course, of course. I'll have one of the Radiance Owls look at your face so it can find you no matter where you go.
That's not creepy at all.
It may be creepy, but it's very effective for getting mail delivered. They can form,
Okay.
they form weird psychic connections with you to understand where you are at any point. Fortunately, each bird can only manage a certain amount of connections at one time, but they're very good messengers.
And how much of the shell do you need for this?
I'll probably need the whole thing, or at least all of the substance on the back of it. The shell itself is just a shell. No more important than any other sort of large crustacean shell.
Alrighty.
Alright.
And how much would this cost for you to make?
Well, to even attempt this, I'm gonna say probably going to cost 50 gold. I cannot guarantee results, so
I'll put that down.
yeah. I can at least offer you a reimbursement of 10 gold should I fail going forward. So you'll be out. You'll be out 40, but you'll at least know that for certain it worked or it didn't.
All right.
Right, so you're gonna hand him 50 gold.
Yep.
All right then. Also, sorry to anyone who is really digging the jams. I had to turn it down because it was kind of distracting on my end. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, he will take the shell, and you can see him drag it into his shop, and already begin scraping off this semi-sticky film that's all over the back of it. All right. Is there anything else you wanted to get taken care of? He would give you back the shell as well if you wanted it, because again, he only needs this weird
Mhm.
golden membrane.
Yeah. If I recall correctly, that crustacean shell was very tough.
Yeah, it's actually about a half-inch thick shell.
Yet
Actually,
it's
the shell
still
would've been
light
about an
enough
inch.
for for Da Vinci to carry.
Oh, at least carry it on your back. You're not necessarily like constantly carrying it as one would carry a baby or something.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's light enough that this gnome can move it. Like,
Gnomes are strong, my friend. But yes, it is fairly light for how large it is.
yeah, so I would get the shell back. Oh, out of character. So a while back we got that ice crystal,
Ah,
the
yes,
ice crystal seed.
Yes, the small seed of an ice quartz.
Yes, and Da Vinci rolling knowledge on it rolled natural 20, knowing what it is and how it operates. So would he know that how to like what is needed to get that ice quartz seed to work and grow?
You would have some clue on it. Uh, the big issue with that is even with the natural 20, it's not something you've ever had to do before.
Hmm.
Yeah, because again, natural 20s don't mean a whole lot on skill checks. They just are as high as your roll can be.
Yeah, I understand that. The more the
But
purpose purpose of my comment is would Da Vinci at least
yes.
know kind of where to go to get what he needs?
To the best of your knowledge, may not be something you could find in this port, because this seems to be mostly a trade good port, and you'd probably need to go to specifically a company or person that deals with crystal growing, which in this part of the world isn't super prevalent since they actually trade in a lot of metal goods due to being connected to the Emerald Plateau, or to the continent of Graynham, rather,
Hmm.
and also being a direct trade port with Tezrel, both of which are the exclusive producers of metal in this world. So they don't have as much of a need of those crystal growers. You do, however, know that you will probably be passing around the Blossom Kingdom, which is the big place where crystals are like used as weaponry. So probably as you're going past there is when you could take some time and maybe stop. You guys will have to stop at a city near there and be able to find someone with more knowledge about how to grow crystals.
Okay, so at least Da Vinci, with his knowledge, knows that this is not the place to find anything.
Yeah. to your understanding, the process basically involves having a geode that is a pure, clear quartz geode, which in of itself is fairly rare to find, but there are places where you can find them. And then it's filled with a alchemical reagent, and the seed is then dropped inside, and the reagent acts as a catalyst to allow the seed to fuse to the quartz. And then slowly over time, it will turn the entirety of that quartz geode into this type of quartz. You know that there are some processes that can make it go faster, but you personally don't have any knowledge of what those processes are because they are kind of closely kept secrets of the trade.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, as you get closer to the Blossom Kingdom, you could probably find someone who'd be more knowledgeable about that.
Okay. That answers my question there. Hmm. Well, to just kind of remove this weight from us carrying it, my next stop would be to go to a weapons shop to see about getting that crab shell turned into a shield.
Yeah, you'd probably fairly easily find it because this place is fairly well known. Pretty easy to find Bloodbath and Beyond. It stands out like a sore thumb around every building around it because whereas most of the buildings in this area are normal wooden buildings and further inland there are stone and cobblestone buildings, this is a wooden building that has been dyed bright, like a bright crimson red. So it's very garish and stands out. It does very clearly have on the front of it a sign that says Bloodbath and Beyond Weapon Shop.
Why do I
Well,
picture
seems
there's
like
an
this is the place.
animatronic sign on the front with a orc sitting in a bathtub scrubbing his back with a mace?
There's no animatronic sign, but if you go inside, there's an orc sitting at the countertop scratching his back with a mace. Probably doing it when Morningstar acts. He's just like, ugh, that's the stuff. Yeah. Oh, there's a customer.
Is it just one off the rack?
No, it's like a specific one he keeps behind the counters for the
Okay, that's better.
I mean, you could buy it if you wanted. It'd probably be cheaper.
I mean, yeah, but I'm not there right now.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
I was just wondering if I could get something commissioned.
We could certainly see about that.
You see, just plop the shell in front of him. I've been carrying this around, and it's a bit too much weight to be carrying for so long. Figured it'd be good for it to be made a bit more easy to wield.
Oh,
Good.
okay, I can get what you're laying down. Alright, let me see what the boys can do with it. And he'll pick it up with absolutely no effort in one hand. Just walking to the back. I'm guessing you want a shield made out of it.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
I'm guessing you want a shield made out of it.
A shield would be good. I mean, it seems most reasonable for it to become a shield.
Aye. Alright then. I'll get that done. Or I can have it done within a few hours if you're willing to wait.
Oh, that would be lovely.
Alright.
And he'll walk into the back. You hear him shout a couple of times, and a very rowdy sounding argument starts to break out between what you're pretty sure is a dwarf and then another gnome. They're trying to figure out how to get this done. Eventually, he comes back out to the front to continue watching the front as you continue hear shouting and then the sounds of tools in the background.
Yeah, they're gonna work on it. Feel free to check back in a couple of hours.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Since you provided the materials, we could discount the cost of the shield to, let's say, 5 gold pieces.
I can spare that, no issue.
Alright, good, because otherwise no one getting the shield.
So I'm assuming you just hand over the money?
Yep.
Alright then. Somehow voices like that don't bother my throat at all, but doing that, oh yes, let's see here, that certainly could be done, is more straining on my vocal cords.
And hear me, it's the opposite.
Looks at the fact that I could do Snapmaw's voice all day without any concern. My vocal cords are weird. Alrighty then. Is that the last of what you were hoping to get out of everything?
Yeah, for now.
Alright, I believe next down the list would be Danny.
Yee. You're probably gonna love how simple my thing is. I just want to get some rations and an extra set of clothes.
Alright then. Probably would actually run into Keta. She's buying a lot of things from this trader. I was gonna type in traveler's clothing into my item searching thing, and I typed in Keta because I said Keta.
How much to buy a Keta?
She is priceless.
It is exactly 9. It is exactly 9 nations.
I mean, are we saying her worth for the church, or how much to just buy her attention? Because to buy her attention is just like, I don't know, a silver piece worth of candy.
Traveler's clothes. Oh, they're actually apparently 2 gold pieces. I think I said they were 2 silver earlier, so I'll maintain that for now.
Okay.
They're nothing fancy. They're just your simple leather or leather/cloth tunics, traveling pants. Nothing fancy.
Okay, for right now, I'll just... Oh, I already have... Basically, I'm just having her get an extra set, since I already have 1 set on my sheet, I'll just put that I have 2.
You can tell you spent like 5 gold getting her stuff an outfit.
That's just, you want the ranger stuff.
Yeah, you went for that fancy like full wear outfit. Mrs. Bloodborne over there.
Yeah.
Failsy went from basically no clothing to all the clothing.
Yeah, too excessively clothed for the environment we're in.
Whereas Morgon's just like, I just need to have a change of clothes, and I'd like to have a few simple options, more or less.
As for rations, they cost about 5 silver for 1 day's worth of rations.
Okay, what would that be? Gold's
You
worth
get 2
then.
days worth of rationing for a gold.
Okay, so she'll get at least 3 gold's worth.
Alright, so you get yourself 6 days worth of rations. Not super important because Lee usually feeds you guys and he is coming along for this trip, but
Never hurts to have extra.
you also don't necessarily know if he'll always be there.
Yeah.
Or at least always be available for cooking.
Yeah. So best to have backup food.
I suppose I should check if see if I have any.
Alright, that's all I wanted. Get some extra rations, get an extra change of clothes.
Alright, easy enough.
No, I don't have any rest. Okay. Let's see what's on my list. I suppose I should get some rations as well at some point. Just noticed that I don't have any because I lost them.
No, yeah. They all got destroyed by the water. I think
For
I should still have some boba left as well.
oh yeah, there's like I've got the boat, but I don't know how to get stuff out of the boat without putting it into water.
That is the only way to get stuff out of it.
Yeah, so I'd have to summon a boat at the port in order to get it out. Like the giant spider that we have in the hold that I can't get into and sell it.
I mean, right now you're at a port, so you're pretty much at the only opportunity you're gonna have for a while to get into that boat.
Oh,
Also, your boat is still at the dock. It has
Oh,
not been
big-
folded up because it was still being repaired.
all right. I guess we're just nixing that bit where I accidentally crushed a bird.
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Because you also said you wanted to get the boat repaired, and the only way to do that is to
Yeah.
have it open.
I was wondering if I was carrying around a box with a couple holes in it.
Ah. Yeah, it's still being
Anyway.
repaired right now.
Things just shopping. I want some blank books, like empty books to write in for all of Felsy's note taking.
Alright then.
It's like she's writing several books at once.
Fair enough, fair enough. I do actually remember now that books are incredibly expensive in D&D Standard. They're like 25 gold piece a pop.
Yeah, but I think those are actual like books, not just blank.
Yeah. So, Andy, what did I sell you a book for just now? Because my brain is blanking out terribly.
Two silver.
Yeah, 2 silver, and that was a blank notebook.
Yeah, it's like that's like a blank, like, 80-page notebook.
I imagine it's just like the school notebook you can pick up for like for 99 cents
like
at
a-
the dollar
it's like
store.
It's like a composition notebook.
I need one for pretty much all the stuff that she writes down about Madame Elway. One for future stuff, spells, her future rituals, and I guess a couple just for backup.
You would know that in order to transcribe spells, it does not take standard paper. You have to get very specially made parchment to make to transcribe spells.
Is that something I can buy here?
You'd probably be able to find it here. It's considerably more expensive though.
The conversion rate is 1 gold for a silver, 10 silver for a gold.
Yeah. To get
So just
to get a spell book, which is a completely blank spell book, it with 100 vellum pages to transcribe into, it is 50 gold.
Okay, so I'll spend 51 gold, get 1 spellbook and 5 blank.
And you do
Uh,
certainly notice that when you're flipping the pages of the spell book, which is completely blank at this point, the pages of the spell book itself, the parchment is thick. Like it doesn't really flex as much as the pages of the basic ones.
All right.
So yeah, it feels much sturdier and heavier.
How do wizards carry these things?
With bags of holding, usually. Or interdimensional rainbow pockets. That's a thing you can get, by the way. It's like a little pocket that gets sewn to the inside of your sleeve that acts sort of like a bag of holding.
How
Purely
much do
for
you?
fans.
How much do you slug for that?
Oh, one of those is like 100 gold pieces. We could sew it into your clothing for you if you've got the money.
She looks at a rather emptying bag of gold. It's like, maybe not.
Alright then. Well, just so you can know for the future, it's a way of keeping an item on yourself in a rather discreet fashion because the outside eye will just look like a little patch of cloth that is sewn to the inside of your sleeve. Mechanically speaking, it's a way to keep one item hidden on yourself. And have it be not just a tiny item.
Silly idea then. I got some stuff I need to sell. I might come back for that then. Depending on if I can actually sell this stuff.
Well, that's perfectly alright. Come back to me anytime you're ready to sell or buy, and I'll be able to get that done for you. Actually, this is more or less the exact same gnome that Travinche was just talking to. Seems to be the main magical items trader of this area.
Okay. Well, there's 2 items I have on me that might get some gold. One is from that same crab that Dravinci's trying to hawk a shell from. Is the 2-foot long crab claw that Felzy's been terrorizing Keta with.
Not
Keta's.
my...
Sorry.
Go ahead and say your thing.
I was gonna say, while Keto's just thinking I can stab her in her sleep, and then it won't happen anymore. The crowd call will go away.
Yeah. He actually looks it over and just like, huh. Someone brought in this type of material not too long ago for me to harvest some stuff from it. I'll admit it's not exactly a very valuable material, the claw itself. It's just a large crustacean claw. We see plenty of these around here from fishing boats.
Trying to remember, didn't the shell repel magic? Or reflect magic?
I don't... Not really, aside from when you would miss attacks and they would just bounce off.
Okay,
Because
so there
flavor.
was no property to that.
Didn't actually have like anti-magic or magical resistance.
Think anyone would buy it for as a novelty?
Maybe down in the general trading district, but yeah, it's all up in the air. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're probably not going to get very much for it.
Well, the joy it brings me for annoying people will be enough.
That's truly the thing that gives us the most joy in life. Spite.
The other thing I have to sell is some bloodstones. Felsi was
no.
holding on to how many?
Now that I could do something with.
I know she pocketed some. 4 of them. 4-inch shards of bloodstone.
Yeah, and Dravinci has the rest.
Except for 2, which Keta has.
I think at that point everyone was just sort of pocketing them. And the rest just went into a giant wheat bag.
Yep, you have several bloodstones. I forget, did you take like the proper gym quality ones or just the normal ones?
I think said bloodstone, so like red ones.
Yes, but there is
Uh,
a distinction because you guys found a lot of bloodstone.
So Dravinci has 30 gem quality bloodstones, but in addition to that, just a sack of non-gem quality bloodstone.
Yeah, which would be like stuff you would use for like breaking into really tiny pieces. You either make like basically color for mosaic tiling, or some of it can be ground up and used as dye or
I
stuff
think
like
Felsi
that.
ended up with gem
Or
quality,
sword.
or at least what she thinks is gem quality.
I think if you only took a couple of them, you probably took gym quality ones. Let's see here. And how many of them did you have?
4.
I could probably take these and in exchange get you that pocket sewn to the inside of your clothing if you'd like.
That'll work.
He just claps his hands, just like, perfect. All right, what outfit would you like, and any particular item you intend to put in this pocket, size wise, or just that spell toe?
Yeah, probably this nice big book for now.
Alrighty then.
Felsi would be wearing her new clothes now, but around her waist is the sort of she's wearing her skirt as a sarong around her hips, like on over the top of her clothes.
Fair enough.
So she'll just sort of undo that one and hand that to her.
Ah, so you want it sewn into this instead?
No one will ever expect to see a pocket in there.
You're not wrong. Finding a skirt with a pocket? Preposterous.
Well, not a skirt that's small.
Not unless you make the skirt yourself. Sorry, that's player saying that, not character.
I know. Alrighty then. Yeah, he will start that process. It'll be done in a few hours. You can get it before the night ends.
Okay. What else is on my list? I think that was all my sellings. So there goes the bloodstones. That's more of an RP thing later. Crew manifest. Felsi still needs to find out, see if what happened to Alteria.
Ah, yes, you do.
And the other thing in there's another shopping list thing, a pack built for Fenris.
A pack
Like a-
built for him?
Like a bag to sort of put on him.
I realize what you're saying, and I'm thinking about him just like, it's a dog with a backpack. Make an investigation check for me.
Okay. Cool. Investigation. I am somewhat good at that. I am good at that. 22.
All right, yeah. You start asking around the other crew members, eventually finding Gond, who you figure is probably the person to be asking this to. And you are actually able to get the crew manifest. Altia, yeah. Altia was on this side of the ship, and looking into it, she is reported to actually be on the port right now. But she is marked to be in recovery.
Where is? Where are the crew recovering?
Oh, that's just over. Trying to remember what Gon's voice was. I think it was just deep. I think it was just deep man voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, he basically just points you towards what is effectively an infirmary on the docks. And be able to go over there and find Altia with a good portion of her lower body in a what can only be described as very comically straight position as it's locked in a cast.
Oh.
A snake in a cast.
Yeah, it's very strange to look at because normally Altia's around 7 feet tall because she stands at her own coil to like move around. She's currently stretched out to be like 12 feet tall, just like completely going across the room and
Oh,
hating every
dear.
second of it.
I feel Fauzi might have seen something like this before, like just injuries with snake people.
Yeah, you've seen a couple of like specifically with tails being injured that they have to be kept straight to heal properly. And it's always very comical because the person in the thing cannot move. They just can't.
Oh, poor dear.
Oh? Oh, Felsi. It's good to see you're alright.
You too. We just got back from Kingfisher Island.
Oh, that's... Uh, that's an accomplishment.
I was kind of worried that you perished with the ship.
It certainly felt like we might, but I managed. I think most of us managed. How about you? Did your party fare well?
Mostly, I think. I don't recall if anyone died. If they did, I don't care.
Oh, that is good news, I suppose, then. Alrighty then. Is there anything you needed to ask, or were you just wanting to check on me?
Well, anything I would ask would be a solid no, given your given what you, given blah, 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 words, given your condition at the moment. How long do you think they'll keep you in this cast for?
Likely until my bones heal. which shouldn't be too long. I'll probably stuck this way for a few weeks.
Oh God, I hope
Luckily,
you
the
don't need to
attendants
shed yet.
I'll probably have to do so after being stuck in such confinement for a long time. Luckily, my attendants are pleasant to look at.
There's just
Yeah.
look around yourself, and there's quite a few fairly attractive looking men and women working at this infirmary. A lot of humans, couple of elves.
Well, I could think of worse places to be stuck in.
Indeed, like in the bow of a ship being attacked by a giant monster.
You know, there seems to be happening a lot recently.
Eh, that is the order of things, I suppose.
Well, it's a shame that you've suffered such injuries. I was going to ask if you wanted to come with. We were going to head to the other side of the continent, apparently. Somewhere near Granum.
Oh, Granum is really truly the other side of the continent. Well, I wish you luck, but I unfortunately cannot join right now.
That's a shame.
Sorry about that, someone opened my door. What was just said? I didn't hear it.
You talking to me?
Yes, what was just said, I didn't hear it.
Oh, that's a shame. It would have been fun to travel with you.
Unfortunately, there are not been much in the way of proper clerics in this part of the world. Aquila, he is more focused on causing damage than healing wounds, unfortunately. As such are his followers.
Yeah, apparently we need to take. I forgot who the captain was.
Elevate.
Yeah, we're taking Elevate to Gradum for their clerics.
That would be the place to go.
I swear to the Great Serpent, there better be some there. I'm gonna eat someone.
Alrighty then. Well, to be safe, Filzy.
You too. You too, Atelier.
Well, I can't exactly do anything, so I'll be probably about as safe as I can be. And do keep up with your studies as well. You were doing fairly well.
Yeah, I just bought a new book, some study material for that. Apparently, it's a long trip.
Yeah, she just like reaches over and pats you on the head. She's like,
Good job.
That's a big boost to Fowler's morale.
getting a nice head pat.
That and knowing that one of her kin is still alive.
Yep, she's alive and fairly well.
Well, Fowler's and make it will depart from Alteria. Glad that there's some good news there.
Yes. So yeah, you're able to leave with a bit of a lightened heart, knowing that the person you spent the voyage with previously actually okay.
Okay, down the list of things. Talking about Elway is something that can be put off for later. I've got carriage written down, but I think we've dealt with the carriage, or Lee
Yep.
had the carriage.
I
someone
think in the
else.
process of everything, it's Keta and Lee. We're going to go look for the carriage and like.
Lee and
commit to the
Keta already took care of that.
Yep.
So yeah, the last thing on Belzy's list is a backpack for Fenris. She's got the mindset that I suppose I can have the puppy carry some stuff if needed.
I mean, a backpack is only 2 gold pieces, so it's pretty easy to find. He's a fairly large mechanical wolf, so he can wear like a normal size backpack. It looks a little funny on him, considering he's a dog wearing a backpack. But you feel like maybe if you were in the future, this would get you a lot of views on some form of social media.
I was thinking more like a saddlebag, since he's by quadruped, like a small horse saddlebag.
That'd be a very small horse, like saddlebag.
Maybe for I know gnomes can ride.
Yep. They do make them for dogs, but the Noma's population, for as many times as I've mentioned gnomes in this situation, it's actually not that high here. I mean, he can wear an actual backpack, or you could get him a pack saddle, which would be more money and probably able to hold less material, to be honest.
Backpack it is.
Yeah, because to get a saddlebag made for him would be 5 gold.
I go grab a backpack. So that was what was it, 5 gold or 2 gold.
You equip your dog with a backpack, which is a statement you don't think is often going to be said in your life, but then you realize you play D&D. You're gonna say everything at least once.
How much does a backpack carry?
It can carry 30 pounds of it can carry 1 cubic foot or 30 pounds of material.
Just gonna write that down on Fenris's thing.
Yeah, so he technically has 30 pounds of carry weight right now. Pretty sure he can physically handle more than that, but he has the physical ability to pack around 30 pounds as he does not have hands.
There we go. I'll just add it in as a feet type thing. Backpack. Yeah, that was. I think that's all the stuff Felzy was running around doing.
Alrighty then. Yes, so you are able to get yourself your backpack for your dog. You go to the inn to have a nice night's sleep. Alright. Mythosia, we've already discussed a lot of the things you were
Yeah. I think the last thing I need to do is go get my bullet mold from Du Bois.
Yes, it is easy enough. Any of you who had materials to pick up within the day would be able to receive them at the end of the night, and it is perfectly fine.
Okay.
Mythosia, you do have a 6-shot bullet mold made of your sniper rifle bullets.
Cool.
So I get my crab shield.
Yes, you get your crab shield, which counts as a standard shield. It has no
Of course, I
outstanding
wouldn't actually be
capability.
using it, but who knows? Maybe someone can use it. Lee can use a crab shield.
No, don't think you
He
can.
uses a walk.
I know,
Look,
but he can
look.
double shield.
We can give it to Keta's dad.
Here you go, Keta's dad. Have a crab shield.
What? Why?
The crab that almost killed me.
Yeah.
Have the back of the crab that almost murdered your daughter. Here, also have the claw that nearly crushed her in half.
And that still tortures her. Tortures her because
Felzy mage handy the crab claw, so it's flying and snipping in the air.
I mean, isn't it? Yeah, isn't it the big one?
Yeah, he has the big one that is the one that nearly crushed Keta.
Yeah. I don't think you can carry that with a mage hand.
I thought the small one was 2 foot and the big one was like massive.
Actually, yeah, that's right.
Still, I think that's probably going to weigh a bit more than 10 pounds.
5 pounds, but yeah.
Because of the small one.
Anyway.
Forgot that Lee is proficient in cooking tools as weapons.
Yeah, he's not proficient with weapons. He's proficient with cooking tools.
Or yeah, cooking implements.
Yes, Lee does not know how to use a sword, but man, can he hit you with a wok.
Get him
Or
a
a ladle.
cleaver. Get him a cleaver.
That is actually a thing that Lee does while he's in town, is get himself a full stock of kitchen cooking supplies. This boy's got an armory.
He's got pots, he's got pans, he's got knives.
He can make more food now that he actually has more utensils.
Yeah, his imaginary friend.
Yes.
How much is ration?
They're 5 silver a ration,
Or
or 2 for a gold. Alrighty then. So with shopping out of the way,
Mm-hmm.
let's resolve the waking up. So you know what this calls for.
yeah, that sounded like that was probably me.
What was
The music change.
I can't hear. I don't have my headphones plugged in.
It's also not making sound on my side, so I just had to trust that it worked.
All we just heard was saxophone and knew.
Yeah, that's all you need to hear. There you go.
So we pan to the next morning. After certain situations which had arisen the night before.
Yeah.
Keta,
Uh-huh.
you awake and find yourself weirdly sore. Like in a way you've never felt before and is very hard to describe.
Can I at least sit up in bed?
Yeah, you're not like physically like handicapped.
Okay.
It's just like part of your body's like random parts of your body feel like jello and you don't know why.
Mm-hmm. So I assume I see who I think I do in my bed next to me.
You haven't had that realization yet.
Well, alright, so I'm gonna go and try to get up and, like, get ready for the day, I guess?
Yeah. As you're, like, sitting up and, like, looking around, you do notice 2 strange things.
Okay.
One, if I remember, the Keta does not typically sleep in the buff.
No, Kata sleeps in her clothes.
So yeah, you looked down at yourself and realized that for some reason you decided to sleep in the buff.
Must have been hot.
And then you realize it is quite warm, and you realize a large source of that heat as you look over and see just a large green lump next to you in the bed.
I don't remember how. Okay. I assume the last thing I remember is eating a cookie.
The last thing you remember is eating a cookie and having a pleasant chat with Lee, before effects kicked in. Because it's not
Okay.
immediate. You have to start digesting the stuff.
Alright, I'm gonna just kind of reach over and shake his arm. Like,
Yeah.
hey, buddy, you know what's going on?
I have to roll something real quick.
Can I roll some sort of check to see if Keta can piece it together?
I guess you can make an insight check. Also, you're not really sure why, but Lee is slightly like curled up in the fetal position.
Okay. That's a 9 insight.
Yeah, you don't really know what's going on. Like, the best you can surmise is maybe Lee was having a bad dream, so you were talking to him or something,
Okay. Okay.
just based on his body posture.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, you give him a little nudge, and he doesn't really seem to be waking up. He seems to be pretty deep asleep right now.
If he's not waking up to like the one-handed shaking, it's gonna be the two arms, like 2 hands on the arm.
He just starts shaking him more vigorously, and eventually he starts to stir into the waking world and sit up.
Hi.
Quick question: did
Uh-huh.
Keta do this before getting up to get dressed?
She's still fairly new. She did not get up and get dressed. She's like, I don't know what's going on, and I want answers.
Fair enough. Just wanted to know that. He's just like, he slowly sits up very groggily and turns to look at Keta. His eyes slowly open. Then they get really wide, and he slowly turns his head away.
Oh. I'm gonna then realize, then pull on my shirt. Wait, can yeah, when I find my shirt.
It's on the ground next to the bed.
Alright, I'm gonna pick up my shirt. Hi. I'm covered.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Why are you in my bed?
I was gonna ask the same question. I guess it's
Okay.
not that weird, but we did have
Well,
separate rooms.
I woke up naked.
I noticed.
And like it kind of feels weird to like stand up.
Yep.
You can't quite see Lee's face as he's turned away from you, but you get the feeling that he's making like a very strained expression.
Can I tilt my head over to look at his face?
Yeah, you can.
Can I-
He doesn't
Can I
really seem to
insight
be...
check him?
Yeah, you can insight check him with advantage.
That's an 8.
Well, I have to roll a deception check for Lee, who is a bard, but is a boy who's not good at lying. What is his deception score? Not a bad score, actually, because Lee has fairly high charisma. But you're tied, because he rolled a 4 with a +4. You get the sense that maybe Lee remembers more of what happened,
Poke him in
and
the side. Like,
he's not saying anything.
gonna gently poke him in the side. Are you not telling me something?
I mean, yes.
What aren't you telling me?
Uh. Uh. Last night was interesting.
I mean, all I remember is eating the cookies and then talking.
There was certainly talking and then demanding.
I would say without any sort of checks, you might be able to start piecing together what happened.
It's like-
given who her aunt is,
Especially
I-
as Lee's face is slowly turning a much darker shade of green.
It just as you, it's like, oh no, oh no, oh no. Catch's face is like going red. I don't know. Oh god. Oh god. God.
It was interesting.
But how do you remember more than I do?
Lee has a much higher constitution score than Keta, i.e., so his natural resistance to poisons and potions is much higher.
Lee is a tough boy.
I.e., the effect wore off on him first.
Oh god. That must have been embarrassing. Oh god.
I need to find my pants. I do
Are
not
they
have
on?
pants right now.
Are they on her side of the bed?
All of the clothes are on that side of the bed. It's the side of the bed that's closest to the door.
Ketcha's gonna like kind of reach out, like pick up his pants and just kind of hand them to him, like covering her eyes, like here.
Yep.
He's gonna like grab the bed sheet and then like walk off to the side, which you're looking away, so details aren't important.
It's just like I think if she looked, she'd be like,
Yeah,
There's like
it
a-
would
there's
start
like a
hurting
lamp.
worse.
There's like a lamp behind him, and he doesn't realize that. So there's like shadows of things. I won't go into more detail than that because we're on a stream.
Ketcha's just covering her eyes, like and she's like, oh what? Oh no.
In case you're wondering also why he remembers this, I rolled for him to see what was happening or how he reacted to this, and he rolled very high to resist the effect of this, so it wore off on him much earlier than it did on Keta.
Oh,
Oh, good. Ketcha just, she feels bad, Pit.
I mean, it wasn't a bad experience. It was just different.
He is now clothed as far as Lee is concerned, which means he has pants on.
Ketcha's still kind of pantless and just facing the corner of the wall.
I have questions.
I have many thoughts on this, and the fact that I feel really bad that this happened, and I need to go get some wine.
Just puts a hand on her shoulder. Just
For what it's worth, it was enjoyable.
It's just very like just staring at the wall, like why does this happen to me?
what does this happen to me? I made my mistake.
She's gonna reach up and pat his hand, and I'm glad it was. I'm sorry that it happened though. I didn't want that to happen right away.
Well,
I didn't know that would happen.
let's not eat those cookies again. I'll make cookies next time. And they
Oh,
won't be those cookies.
It's, I'm really sorry. I'm
It-
really sorry.
It's really fun, Keta.
No, it's not. I accidentally poisoned you.
I don't think that was technically poison.
But it's still.
I mean, if you think about it, you also technically poisoned yourself.
Yeah, that's. Oh God, Brimstone's gonna be like, "Well, I told you." Oh God.
We
Oh.
should just not tell him because I like my blood where it is.
He's not gonna hurt you.
Are you sure?
The one you
It's-
gotta be really wary of is my mom,
Yeah, it's not him who's gonna hurt you.
and she's not here, so you don't have to worry.
True, but let's not tell Brimstone, so he
All right,
doesn't
can I-
say anything.
Can I talk
Smart
with
boy.
Morgan? Can I talk with Morgan about it? There's some things.
Wise boy.
I guess maybe she can keep a secret.
I mean, I wouldn't trust Failsy with anything to save my life.
No.
Wise girl.
Failsy shot me several times.
Can't remember.
I'm
I think
gonna
it's
get
only once.
I'm gonna get pants
Sure.
on.
I think you did
And-
actually hit Lee multiple times. At least
I'm
twice.
Well, the
Yeah,
one big one.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some pants on, and I'm gonna go find Morgan.
Okay. I'm
Uh,
gonna go.
I'll-
Gonna go make sure the cart's ready.
Oh, here you go. And Ketcha will go into her
Ketcha,
bag
you're
and
still
pull out.
not wearing pants.
We've seen each other naked at this point. Does it really matter?
No, I've seen you naked. You apparently don't remember.
No, I've seen you. I've seen you mostly naked.
You're not wrong.
I'll
I
get pants
assume
on
you
in a
give-
second.
I assume you just give him the shirt.
Yes.
Alright. He seems happy and he puts it on, then you guys can go about your day.
Ketcha's gonna get pants on and immediately go try to
Is-
find Morgan.
Is it the proper size?
It is a
It-
large shirt. Lee is technically a 3XL.
Yeah,
but a
yeah.
large is literally the largest shirt he will wear.
No, yeah. That's what I was meaning.
It's not quite as being stretched to its utter limits as the shirts he's typically seen wearing, as he usually wears mediums to smalls.
It's amazing. Also, how does he not lose blood circulation?
Because the shirts do not contain his muscles.
Fair enough.
It's like when you wear a compression shirt.
Yeah,
They are
fair enough.
forced to withstand him.
So, how hard is it to find Morgan? And maybe some wine.
Morrigan probably not very hard since you guys know where each other's rooms are. Wine fairly hard because it's early in the morning. They don't serve alcohol. They don't serve wine.
I'll find some fucking ale at this point.
Yeah, they serve ale.
I'm just gonna get a cup of ale and knock on Morgan's door.
You know where to get some wine. That's a dangerous property.
Yeah.
No grain of wine.
Yeah, because Brimstone's first question is, why?
I imagine Brimstone's actually down with whenever Lee comes out into the common room as well.
Probably.
So, we'll
Morgan.
resolve Keta and Morgan first.
Morgan.
Hang on, I need to put my clothes on.
That sound though.
At the door.
Oh yeah, the Church of Inches there too.
It sounds like it. Put your pants on.
Alright. Why does anyone have such a problem with pants? It'd be Failsy in like the kitchen downstairs or something. Just hear you calling out pants.
It's the daily pants.
Yeah. Morgan will get herself dressed as soon as Dravenche's decent enough.
He will put his pants on.
That's what
Basically, all he wears is
basically just get his pants on and she'll open the door for Keta.
He looks very stressed at the moment and is probably chugging a cup of ale.
Keta, what's up?
A bit early in the morning for that, wouldn't you think?
I need to talk with you, Morgan. Dermente, can you leave?
What?
Dermente, I will give you some gold if you just leave.
You were paying me to leave.
I need to speak with Morgan privately. Something happened. And it's a girl thing.
Just kind of looked at Morgan. Even though I think I would have some input on this. Well, I'll leave you two as you request.
Thank you.
Alright.
Not so suddenly, like, kind of nudge him out the door.
You don't have to push.
I picture Keta putting her full weight, and even though Da Vinci isn't particularly strong, since she's still bigger than her, it's just like, what I'm going!
Morgan,
Hang on, let me close the door. And close the door and just be like, alright, what's going on?
I might have eaten some cookies that I got from Miss Bliss, and so something happened last night where I don't remember much of it. But Lee
Those
remembers a lot of
cookies?
it. It's the ones that you're supposed to share with a special friend.
Oh, Keta, sweetheart.
Apparently, it wore off on him first. He remembers most of it. I do not.
Oh dear.
I feel awful.
Well, at the very least, from what you've told me before, you don't have to worry about carrying any cargo at the moment.
I mean, yeah, but he's really special to me, and I didn't want to do that so soon, and it's just, and she kind of buries her face in the bed.
Oh, Keta, and she'll sit next to her and put a hand on her back, kind of just rub her shoulders and stuff.
I mean, if you ask my aunt, then this is probably a good thing, but I mean, she,
I can understand wanting to remember your first time and wanting it to be special.
He remembers it, and I don't, and it's just, I don't know.
Well, if he'd be willing to tell you
Some
about
parts
it.
of me, some parts of me feel like jelly.
Well, that's normal. Especially considering how big he might be. I don't know. I've never actually... never mind. Neither here nor there.
It's just, I don't know if I don't know if this is gonna make him hate me, or what, or if I'm like a really shitty person now.
Oh, you didn't know the cookies were gonna do that.
Brimstone had a look on his face when I originally got the cookies, and well, he didn't tell me, and then I thought, well, they're cookies that are fine, and then, yeah.
I feel better. We all should have explained to you what that particular cookie's supposed to do.
And now Lee's worried that Brimstone's gonna kill him. Brimstone's not gonna kill him, I don't. I know he's not.
Well, that's good at least.
I mean, this doesn't change anything between us, does it?
Do you want it to change things between you and him?
I don't know. I had my first kiss like 4 days ago, and now this.
Pardon the joke, but you're moving faster than I did at your age. I'm only teasing you, dear.
I need some wine, something stronger than this, and after finishing off her cup, she's going to toss it up to the side.
Keta,
I need.
take it from someone who's been in a situation probably worse than this. You don't want to turn to the drink right now.
What do I do then?
You talk to him?
I don't think he wants to talk right now. It's
Well-
on my bed, and then it's just.
Well, considering the circumstances, he's probably understandably just as freaked out as you are.
I think the good thing coming about this is the fact that he's not upset about the cookies.
Which is good.
He said next time if we want to have cookies, it's going to be not those kinds.
I think that's fair. I think you and him are gonna be okay.
I hope so. If we can just keep this between me and you, is that okay?
Absolutely.
Well, Brimstone's like my uncle, and I don't know Da Vinci that well, and well, Failsy is Failsy.
I can't get a read on her much.
Well, I'll leave you to your morning. I think I'm gonna go try to pray to my aunt.
If you think that'll help, then it's no problem, dear.
Just give her a hug. Also, I need a bath. I kind of smell like orc sweat.
Well, that shouldn't be too hard to do while we're still here.
Yeah, just save me some breakfast, okay?
I can do that.
And Tekka will go out and just bathe for a bit.
Just Da Vinci would be kind of standing off to the side as Keta leaves.
Immediately,
Hmm?
immediately squint like, what did you hear?
Keta, clear that something's wrong. You
No,
don't have to
nothing's-
say.
Nothing is wrong. I'm gonna go get a bath.
Keta.
It's not your
Don't-
place to be in it. And I'd
I
recommend
know.
that you don't put your nose in it.
And
Because
I'm
if
not
you
intending
do,
to.
and
I'm
if I find out that you
I'm
know
just
more than
offering. I'm just offering a male's perspective on this situation if you want it.
I currently don't. I want to go bathe.
Then go and bathe.
Small angry man.
Go and scream your heart out at whatever it is this problem is. And when you've come to your senses, we can talk if you want.
half tempted to go for the dagger, but it's like no. She's gonna go get her bath.
Easy enough to do.
Yes.
Alrighty then. Brimstone and Lee just currently having an awkward breakfast down in the common room. Like, really anything to be said, because I don't think Brimstone cares that much even.
Okay, I mean, usually you are relatively quiet, but this is even weird for you.
It's just been interesting.
You don't say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been interesting. It's really just been an interesting week, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, I guess first week with a girl that's not life or death might be a little weird, yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I gotta go make sure the cart's in line. So I'm just gonna go.
I would like to roll an insight check. I don't expect to succeed.
Well, I have Lee's deception roll for this day planned out, so
Okay.
see what you roll
5
for your
now.
insight. Okay, yeah. Definitely something up. You're not sure what.
Something up is relating to Keta, probably. Okay.
Fails would be downstairs having breakfast at around this time. Can I do an insight?
Sure.
Oh fuck!
Just shit-eating grin. Fails his face.
There is the as a woman with many experiences, the awkwardness of the morning glow of a person who's had their first time.
I mean, Brimstone's just like, whatever, I don't care.
I love the mental image of Brimstone, like the back of Brimstone's head in the foreground, looking at Lee, who's standing up, and as he walks away, it just reveals Failsy behind him, just going,
Oh, 100%. Because Brimstone thinks that if Failsy's smiling, she's planning something evil. Does not trust her.
I mean, she is always, at all times
Yeah.
of the day.
Yeah, that's why Brimstone doesn't trust her. To be fair, he just doesn't really trust magic in general.
Yeah. So yes, Lee's gone off to go get the cart ready. Is there any last minute preparations you all would like to make before you start to head out?
Is it possible to just like are there? I assume there's not many temples in this port city.
There's some to Aquila and then some to Venti, but not really to anyone else. Like
Do
there's one to
Asmars-
Aquila and one to Venti.
Yeah. Do Asmars take offerings like gods do?
Yeah, the Azamar are basically who receive the offerings for the god.
All right.
Kind
I
of why
assume
Azamar
Keta.
are important, because they're basically the conduit between normal mortal kind and the gods themselves in terms of divine power.
And I assume Keta would know what kind of offering to leave for someone like her aunt. Or would I have to roll a religion check on that?
I mean, typically it's things like incense and scented oils and the such. But you get the feeling that because her aunt is not, like, because her aunt is not like a member of either of these churches, it might not exactly be the best idea to try to leave offerings with them for that
She-
person.
She wasn't gonna leave them at the temple. It was more so just before she leaves, like light some incense
All right then.
and be like, I don't know if you're listening. I don't want an answer right this moment, but like I'm having some love troubles, and like eventually, if you can get back to me on that, it'd be great. Love you.
Hmm. You do not get a response right now, but you feel like you were heard.
Putting out the incense and just having some breakfast. Like I hope she never tells my mother. And then I'm just gonna go to the cart and probably sit in the back.
First thing her aunt does. Sister, guess what? And all Keto's responses is just,
Hey sis, guess what I heard about?
"We're not gonna have to kill Brimstone."
Oh no, not Brimstone. There's a new boy.
Yes, but Brimstone let it happen.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get to work on some like embroidery stuff. Just to, not think on stuff.
To avoid Brimstone.
I'm imagining that she doesn't have a embroidery design planned out, and her mind's wandering, starts doing green dicks.
We've been avoiding it for so long, but there it is.
Oh, it's just like
Alright.
little flowers.
Alright. Yeah, you could do that as you guys are getting set on the road.
Alright, I need to grab my boat.
Yeah, you can go get your boat.
Hold on, we need to go pick up my boat.
Yeah, it's not too hard to go grab it. It's not fully repaired, but it does have considerably fewer holes in it than the last time you saw it.
I suppose as long as the Lee-sized tentacle monster-sized hole are gone.
Yeah, there is notably no longer a Madame Elway punch hole or a Lee face hole going through the ship. Because that's the best way to describe what Lee did. Was went face first to the side of the boat. As Lee is wont to do. Alrighty then.
Yes.
But yes.
Travel time.
Yes, you all get to the... What?
Did anyone want to get the spider out before I fold it up and we can't get it out again?
No one said they did.
Okay, spider's in there then.
Why would we want to?
Spider's
Yeah.
all crunched up inside of a containment pod. Yes, and before you leave, by the way, Duravince, as they were not all finished last night, you do receive your jeweler's tools from Flair.
Sweet.
Bid Flair and Cassandra a fond farewell.
Yeah, they just sort of both wave to you.
Wait, do we have a Madame LA?
You like panically look around and then turn your head back and notice she's already sitting in the cart, despite the fact you never saw her walk up.
Magic.
Yep.
Anyway, I assume we have the sisters.
Yeah, they are in the cart as well. You actually notice you guys have a fairly large covered wagon. It's actually more of a carriage than it is like just a cart.
Well, this certainly seems a bit familiar, doesn't it, Dravenche?
Yep. Yes, like a few what was it? At least a few weeks, almost a month on the road together.
Something like that.
Yep, and here we are again on another travel.
Yep.
At least can say that the company's a bit more entertaining this time.
Yep.
That fuming sound.
Yeah, just stress sound. Brimstone just looking up from the gun.
I'm good.
For a second, you thought your gun made that sound. You were really confused.
Yes. No.
You look over and just Keta with steam pouring out of her head.
Yes.
I'm making flowers, I'm making flowers, I'm making flowers.
Who is wanting to drive? Because Lee can technically drive,
Between
but
Lee
I
and
know
Morgan,
someone else also has the permission.
Me.
Morgan.
Like, could I?
Sure.
All right. You take pole position on the carriage. You just
I
have
imagine Da Vinci would sit next to her.
That's okay if you want to. For Danny as a player, she would recognize this type of animal, but I wonder if any of you guys do. As you look
But-
at this giant horse that's pulling the carriage,
What do you have to roll?
It's beer.
it'd be a nature check.
Oh,
It's beer.
Should I roll that as well for character
You
knowledge?
you would know because you travel with merchant caravans.
Oh, okay.
wait, didn't Keta travel with a merchant caravan when she was coming here?
Well,
You
but
traveled with one. You were not involved in the mercantile problem.
Yeah,
You were literally
yeah.
just in transport.
yeah, like Morgan has actually been involved in the whole thing.
Well, so that would probably mean Da Vinci would recognize it as well.
He was not with that caravan for as long as you were.
17 for Felzy.
Alright, so...
4 for armor. Your bird. Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So, Brimstone, Failsy, and Motagon, you right away realize that this is a burden back horse.
Ah.
They are monsters of horses. They cannot be ridden by normal people. Like, this is the type of horse that giant can breed.
Yeah, I was like, that's a Goliath horse.
Yeah. It's a fairly short horse, all things considered. But it has the muscle density of a large bull.
Oh, this is the same kind of horse that Cisco is.
Yeah. That's why I said you as a player would recognize it.
I'm sorry, I have the dumb right now.
It's the Cherry Cruise horse.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. They are very, well, not Terry Crews, because I wouldn't say this about Terry Crews. They're very stupid looking animals.
I was meaning a musky return.
Yep. Just like, it's a very dumb looking animal. It looks like it's just staring in two different directions at one time like a chameleon.
Of course Lee got this horse.
Well, yeah.
Well,
It's
you
his
get
friend.
these horses when you're moving heavy stuff and you don't want to have to stop very often. These
Look,
things are
look.
tanks.
They identified with it.
Oh, that was mean.
No!
I'm just being a shit.
Its actual eyeballs are kind of like bulging out of its head a little bit, so it can look around its body better. Like, there's actually one point where you're sitting in the front seat of the caravan and you see it looking at you without fully turning its head towards you.
Oh god, it's got chameleon eyes.
Yes, it does. just like it is honestly one of the stupidest looking animals, but they are incredibly reliable for transport. For anyone curious, this is a horse that has 24 strength.
Tough horse.
They have 24 strength and a natural 40 pool of HP. They are sturdy mofos. I.e., my answer to things that just kill horses on caravans normally in playing D&D. Traveling music playing. Sure.
That sounds like traveling music.
Sounds like we're about to get thunderstruck a little bit. Alright then.
Failsy inventing a new spell.
Yep.
Suddenly, just perpetual cloud of storm following her.
Okay. So, Morrigan, you are driving the caravan. I'd like you to make a vehicle land proficiency check with dexterity
give-
and relevant modifier.
Could I give her inspiration?
Technically, but at the same time, it's weird because this is over the course
It's
of
an
the movie.
extended action.
Okay.
I'll say you can. It's not a high DC.
But
anyways,
It's just
what? Okay, but what was
Beth is
the
keeping up. Oh, sorry.
roll again?
a vehicle land proficiency check using dexterity as the relevant modifier.
Okay.
Beth is keeping up the spirits by singing, like teaching everyone drinking songs and shit like that she knows.
Yeah, so you'd be able to have proficiency on you, or not proficiency, but
Inspiration.
inspiration. Yeah.
So D6.
Yes, still a d6.
So that brings it up to a 10.
That raises what you needed.
Alrighty.
Hey, I did something.
Let me just
Dumb
screw it
horse
here,
is
it's fine.
in control. It might not be smart, but it's fucking powerful.
All right, so your guys' first week of travel goes by relatively uneventfully. You pass through a lot of very small villages on the way out of Jezebeth. You could always, if you really wanted to, swing by the big capital city of Jezebeth, but there's no real reason to since you guys don't have any business there.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, this is a relatively well-patrolled area, so there is really no cause for concern during your travels.
Becca has embroidered her pants finally. Or at least the hem of her pants.
As was mentioned before, most of Aquila's forces are based around a overpowering military force, so bandits typically avoid this area. It may not potentially stay that way as you progress forward.
What things can we do for downtime on the trip?
What would you like to try to do? You can technically do anything, just the actual action is going to determine the DC of what you're working on.
Yeah. So, is it like one action that we can focus on for the week, or
That's more or less how I'm going to do it, because you guys have a long travel time ahead of you.
okay? Not sure which one Fauzi's closer to finishing. Enchanter's training or gun training?
You'd be closer to finishing gun training, because enchanting training takes a long time to work on.
I still have 2 stages of the DCs to do for the gun. Okay, Fauzi's gonna try to learn how to shoot in during downtime during the week.
Alrighty then, go ahead and make for me 3 dexterity checks.
3 dex checks.
3 gun check.
Just straight decks.
Yep. I will say this. Brimstone, as you see her doing this, how are you reacting to seeing a relatively untrained person attempt to use a gun? Like, are you just letting her do it, or would you be trying to assist her?
In the interest of not shooting somebody and us having to deal with the aftermath of that, assist.
All right, so you may make these checks with advantage.
Okay.
It's less I want to help her and more I don't want her to shoot somebody.
16, 18, and 19.
All right, that is 3 successes actually. I think that would put you to a total of 5 overall successes, so you only need 1 more before you gain proficiency.
Oh, cool.
In
Unfair.
guns as a whole, or just that?
With pistols.
Um,
Not firearms
Okay.
as a collective, specifically with a pistol.
can Keta start training with like the painter supplies?
Sure, what would you like to paint?
I think she'd like, depending on like the if it's like watercolor paints or not. She'd probably be like painting on her leg, maybe with watercolors. Yeah, why not?
That's really bad for your skin, I will mention, but Kat doesn't know that.
She is bad.
I mean, it's colorful. Why not?
She is babby.
Watercolor paint on your skin is a good way to get rashes.
She is babby.
Yep. So you start doing that.
Probably just a lot of simple like landscapes and shit like that.
Yeah, I think Keta was already supposed to be like semi-proficient in art, right?
It is semi-proficient in just general art as a whole because of time spent in a house doing nothing.
Fair enough. Yeah, so go ahead and make for me. Let's go with performance checks.
Alright.
Even though technically painting is supposed to be sleight of hand.
Alright. So how many should I make? Just one?
Let's go with 2 for you.
27? And natural 20.
Damn.
Yeah, you're getting the hang of this pretty easily.
I managed to add in like a bird one day.
Just like the first one is just like a normal landscape painting, and then it's like a bird, and then you just like internally you're following the Bob Ross paint videos in your mind.
Yes.
Possibly getting high off the
Yeah, that's how she was
Fumes.
seeing it. I mean, I don't think watercolor emits fumes.
Not normally.
Yeah.
But
Gosh,
this
I'm
is-
trying to buy some fucking poison paint.
who knows what they put in this paint?
Yeah,
It's
she's
just
got some.
titanium white, which may or may not have lead in it sometimes.
Yeah, she's got some of those marvelous pigments. Paints a bird and it just comes out of her skin.
No.
Sounds like something fairly.
I don't ever want you guys to find those items, even though they do exist,
Oh, no.
because
Yeah,
that's a
but-
game-breaking item.
Oh, I know.
Oh, here's
What's
a
this?
door you can't
Lock,
open yet.
yeah, lock door, hole.
No door handle.
I
Alright,
paint.
yeah, you're able to make your art relatively well.
I mean, she does have a book to do the art in. That's why she got the separate fucking book. But I mean, I think
You
it,
don't have to paint on yourself.
I think it's just like doing the normal painter's thing, which since I paint a lot, it's just like, all right, kind of slightly wiping off and it gets on your skin sometimes. You can't really help it.
Yeah. Cause a little bit of skin irritation, because as I mentioned before, watercolor paint on
Rash.
skin not a great idea.
Yeah. It's like, fuck, ow. Can't scratch it.
Jeez. Is there anything else other people are wanting to do? Wotagun, if you did have other downtime things you want to do, Lee can always take over driving the cart for a little bit.
Uh, it would just be like normal stuff that doesn't require rolls that she'd be doing in downtime.
Alrighty then. Any particular examples or just
Mm.
housekeeping type things?
Well, just like talking with the other party members, stuff like that.
Alrighty. I'm just assuming general chatter, not things particularly have to be RP'd out.
For sake of brevity, yeah.
Yeah, so relatively well. What about you, sort of, and Shay and Felsley's already doing stuff, and I know that Brimstone's downtime is being divided, but now between training Felsley and working on his gun.
Yeah. I don't have time to make bullets.
You need to stop with a really hot fire to make bullets.
I know.
How many bullets did Fauzi lose training?
Let me just roll a thing, because you've been doing it for a while. You so far used up about 20 bullets training.
Yeah, not many.
You would have used up a lot more if it weren't for Brimstone.
This is why Fauzi bought a bucket of bullets.
Fair enough. Alright, team.
Oh, Ash. Ash, she's learning.
More or less.
Alright.
During the bit of downtime, Da Vinci would be working on the chunks of gem quality bloodstone to cut them to essentially sellable gems.
Fair enough, fair enough. Now that you have the tools, it's a lot easier to do so.
As well as if there's any like bits of loose material. Should have really bought some spare gold. But he would try to make some small bits of jewelry, maybe inset some bits of bloodstone into into some of his jewelry.
Alright. Go ahead and make me a jeweler's kit check. 3 of them.
Which attribute?
I'd say dexterity, yeah. This is based on your manual dexterity right now rather than your creative dexterity.
15, 9, and 20.
Yeah. While working with a couple of the gem quality bloodstones, some of them are a little bit more brittle than you were expecting as you're trying to cut them down into a better shape. You end up losing 4 of them in the process of cutting down the majority of them. And it just basically reduces it to the same type of gemstone as you have a big bag of, so you can just add it to your bag.
Even more bag of bloodstone.
Kind of stuff.
Big bag of rock.
So just fiddling around didn't really get anything other than losing for the gem quality stone.
I was getting to that actually. Was the result of the 9 check, because the first 2 were for your cutting.
Right. Okay.
The last one is for trying to incorporate them. You don't have a whole lot in the way of loose material to work with,
especially. Whereas you may have a lot of golden material, it's not actually gold. You can't melt it.
Hmm.
And as you learn from Flare, it's very hard to melt, period. So you end up having to basically just rework your jewelry a little bit. You could actually open up some of the inlay of it already that's in there, sort of hollowing it out to be able to inset some stones if you so desired. So it's not that difficult to do.
Hmm. Okay, got some nice bloodstone jewelry.
So some nice, very deep red with bright red veins going through it jewelry.
Yeah, I would presume Da Vinci isn't using all of it.
Stone.
No, that's up to him.
Sorry, could you repeat that, Myth?
I'm presuming you're not using all of the gem quality.
No. Gotta have at least
Some.
part of the cutting was to prep some of the stones to sell, since we got them straight off.
Mhm.
To fashion them, kind of sand them or cut them so that they can be considered sellable quality. You grab it and inset it and you're good to go.
Right.
Oh, I've still got 2 worker nuts. Do those go off?
You guys have those cold bags, so they would have a few more days of usefulness left.
Catch a
So
shaking
it's
one. I need to find out what I can make with this.
Maraca.
Well, food wise.
Maraca.
Maracas aren't food.
That's
You're
not
not trying
trying
hard
hard
enough. Oh yeah.
Anything
Yeah,
can be
man,
food if you're brave enough.
Alrighty then.
There's
Your first week
rock.
of travel goes by relatively uneventfully.
Cool. If Lee goes to drive, Kessa will sit up in passenger seat with him.
Fair enough. Yeah. He doesn't seem as awkward going forward. It was just like the initial shock factor.
oh, you don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I
I'm
imagine
sure he
there's
felt
been
it.
some. I imagine though there's been some talking in the meantime of like, okay, well that happened.
Pretty much. There's been quite a bit of talking. Lee just acknowledging the fact and just moving on, perfectly willing to have it have happened, but not have to change anything.
Cool.
Yeah.
I hope I don't get anything from my aunt in the time. Then it's like, yeah, yes, I solved it. Don't worry.
I have to think about that, so that's probably going to happen next session. Right then. Pretty in game here. One more week's worth of travel.
You are roboting something fierce.
Another lag proficiency check.
You were roboting. What was it you just said? I did not hear what he said.
I did hear a thing about a lamp efficiency check for Morgon, I believe.
Yes, I am proficient in lamp.
You got some lamp.
Oh god.
Y'all got any of that lamp?
That dang
Because-
lamp, bro.
Brother, spare some lamp.
I think
But yes, make a land proficiency vehicle check, please.
nah, I don't think she'd be worried about inspiring.
We'll see how the proficiency check goes.
Right.
Oh, what attribute?
Say-
Okay.
check, sir.
10.
I mean, it's relatively calm halfway, so that's the base DC you need to fulfill to be able to continue forward.
Alrighty.
At this point, you guys would actually be properly leaving Jezebeth, so you'd actually be going through the border of Jezebeth and the start of the.
So I just realized something.
No.
I have land tools as well. Or land vehicles. I
A lot of
forgot.
people do. Everyone can drive a cart, apparently.
It's background.
Bowsy cannot. Bowsy just
Bowsy
knows how
can
to
try.
speak anything that no one understands.
Yeah, it fails, you just starts hissing.
You
Hissing,
guys-
making eldritch noises, or singing in stuff that hurts Brimstone's ears.
Yeah, but at least somebody else understands that.
Alright, so you guys are actually crossing from Jezebeth into the continent of Graynham, though specifically right now, you're crossing into the jungle that borders Jezebeth and the desert of Lagora. Which is actually Belzy's homeland. Well, her homeland, but where she lived for a long time.
Where the snacks are.
Yeah. We need to establish where Bowsy came from before the temple.
Somewhere. Or elsewhere. Chelsea is actually being a pure chaos magics.
Just formed from chaos.
Yeah. Why she's not a wild magic sorcerer? I don't know.
Just decided not to be.
Yeah. Just not fuck that.
Already got wild magic, I don't need that.
Nah, fuck that. I want to be a snack.
Alrighty then. Your next leg of the adventure goes by relatively uneventfully as well, based on my behind-screen rolls. Bugs are certainly an issue going forward, as there are many of them. We're in a jungle.
I hate it here.
Do they avoid Brimstone because he's just emitting constant heat?
No, not really. They still go after you.
If anything,
they
that would make mosquitoes want to go after him more.
Yeah, you've got blood and warmth. You are a target.
So they might just not go around the brand because that's a bit too warm.
More or less.
Any of them could fly near Flare, just
We don't have flare with
Yeah,
us.
Flaring Cassandra and
Yeah, they didn't.
Oh.
nope, they stayed in the port.
That's because you didn't have a reason for them to come with you, and thus you could not convince them to come with you.
Yeah, it's us, Madame Elway, Olivia, and her sister. Trevor.
Terrible.
sorry,
You
I
notice
missed
anytime
that
they
part.
get- oh, sorry. Yeah, they are not with you, unfortunately. You notice anytime they go near Elway, they just sort of disappear.
Just no sound or anything. It's just
I think in this time, Keta would have tried the Euphoria candy,
Okay.
just because she's bored.
oh boy.
Oh no.
a good thing to do when you're bored. Eat drugs.
Yeah. Eat happiness drugs.
Not really drugs.
Eat emotionally. I take it. Affecting candies. There we go.
So, Keta, make a constitution saving throw for me.
Okay, cool.
Make a wisdom save.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, that's about right.
You are overcome with a sense of euphoria. Everything is wonderful. The sky is bright, the trees are grand. That giant bug over there is just smiling at you.
Has it? I'm just fucking robust one.
Yeah, it's not even unnerving the fact that it's currently eating a cow. It seems preoccupied with the cow, though. It's no issue for you.
Though she does point it out, she's just like slightly leaning on the cart.
I just feel like, Lee, look! And he's just like, what? Okay. Yeah. Well, okay, good.
Keeping the cart moving.
I don't know, keep watching.
Halsey, you are a weird one.
Yeah. I definitely remember one again. I can't threaten Bells as well.
I mean, even though you want to keep watching, another appears not too long afterwards. This one is like a dragonfly that's currently carrying a crocodile,
Oh, wow.
and they
She's currently
both look
giggling
at
for
you.
herself.
Crocodile isn't dead, by the way. It's just being carried.
Oh, what
They
is
just
that
both look
thing?
at you.
It has a lot of teeth.
That
Yeah,
is
yeah,
amazing.
crocodile.
Get near that.
I feel like Keta is like imitating a flame when she's looking at the fucking, arms out. While she's looking at the dragonfly.
It's more so she's like just staring up, like really like eyes as wide as saucers, but just kind of tucked in to the side of the cart.
She's like Sokka on the cactus juice.
Yeah.
Friendly mushroom! Friendly mushroom!
Just all snuggled in the leaf. He's my friend. Yeah. Friend. Yeah, it is. It is time for fun. So, we don't want to resolve anything downtime and then wrap it up?
I think Keta's probably just gonna be training more with her up here when she's not drugged.
Oh no, Ket's trying to do that on drugs.
I think somebody would have had enough sense to take the weapons away from the child.
Yes, brimstone.
I mean, the candy doesn't last for that long.
Yeah, I know.
It's for an hour, I think.
Yeah. But if it did, he would have asked Lee to do it, though. Just, she might stab me, you do it. Yeah, it is 10 o'clock, so.
Yeah, but other than that, don't have anything else.
All good. Alrighty then. Well, if there's nothing else anyone else wants to resolve, I think we can call it for the night.
For that downtime, Bowsy's training, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead and make 3 more dexterity rolls and we'll see if you get the last success you need. This one has a higher DC.
15, 11, and 23.
Alright, you actually do manage to get the final success you needed. So you have gained proficiency with that pistol.
Hopefully next session, when I'm not on drugs, I can gain proficiency in painter supplies.
I'm just picturing Failsy just turns and looks at Brimstone's gun. Can I do that one next? No.
Yay!
No.
Please. Be your friend.
I don't want that.
No,
Alright.
stay away from me. Ugh.
Well, on that note, then I believe that's all we have for tonight.
One more thing.
Okay.
Just as Da Vinci continues working on bits of jewelry, he's gonna take one of his bracelets and inset it with some small bloodstones around it in a ring.
You got proposed.
Oh, Morrigan.
Yeah.
Hold still. And
Uh.
he'll just plot the bracelet onto one of her horns.
She just kind of freezes up for a second, and her face actually does go red.
That's adorable.
Uh,
And I'm gonna go look at something else than hard fucking Mars.
Thank you, Da Vinci.
Morgan's got dark skin. doesn't she?
Yeah.
The stone worked well for you.
Well, thank you.
Touch kisser!
No,
No,
I'm
no.
just gonna accept the thanks and then sit quietly on the cart as they continue riding.
As we were doing a lot of chatting with Madame Elway over the journey.
It's
I think he's wrapped up that round.
I know, it's just
Alright, there we go. Finally. Can you guys hear me?
yes.
Yeah, Discord just decided to crap out a little bit.
Mhm.
not behaving
Alright.
today.
Is it time to shield?
Yes, it is time to shield.
Yes.
Do the shield. Do it.
Hello, everyone. You know me as Keta, who went through some experiences tonight. And well, you can catch me Sundays at
Sorry.
twitch.tv/Latverian where I play Desire, the Tiefling Blood Hunter. She has made some new friends. 3 humans to be exact. They're all a bit weird on their own. And you can catch us right as we pick up where Desire is going to show them her pillow fort, basically. And we're going to bed down for the night. It's basically what she's carrying around for the tent is a fucking pillow fort. But that is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know other times.
Y'all have the internet. If you're watching this stream, you can use time converter.
That is my shilling.
Anyone else got stuff to shield?
We don't play this with we armor. I think it's.
Our thing isn't until September.
So. Yeah.
I'm still working on the Tuesday thing, trying to find a group. Let's see who can play.
So yeah, I guess the only relevant thing that we have for this week is Monday, 2 p.m. EST. Shadows and Starlight. I have another friend, which means I have like 4 voices from Melvin Tep. I'm not going
Never
crazy
gone.
yet.
Yeah.
Go there. Define the shit. Watch it's what
You see his handsome face.
if you want.
Alright. Danny, how you take care of the shilling for our game?
Yes, you'll be able to find. Hopefully, again here next week. There wasn't a stream last week because there. I'm just gonna say Fae fuckery because why not?
But they are my bosses at corporate management.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some big fucker involved last week. We did have worry.
Yeah,
But-
it's great.
It's good.
There will hopefully be back next week. Same time, same channel, same day of the week for the next session. Sorry, slightly distracted. I'm working on a thing behind the scenes because I'm always working on something yarn related.
We have another, what, 5 weeks to travel to get through?
A few.
That's fine. Maybe I'll be able to actually make bullets. So I can actually use my new gun.
Did you buy any lead?
Oh no!
If you get some lead, I can heat up metal for you.
Alright, well, we'll resolve that later. I
Yeah.
think we should say our goodbyes, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Hey. Well, I think we should fight.
Bye. Got it.
Stop being fucking creepy tiny dancer. Don't make me shoot you.
Oh, goodbye everyone. I'll see y'all next week.